FoodTruckr School is now in session, episode 3. Yep. Hey, what's up, food truckers? This is your host, Pat Flynn, and FoodTruckr.com is here to help you take your food truck business to the next level. Whether you're just starting out or you've been in this business for a while, this is the show for you. In today's episode, I don't have a guest with us, but I wanted to touch on something for a little bit here about food trucks that really boggles my mind. Something that, since I come from a marketing background and I love food trucks, it's just a little weird to me that this doesn't happen. Something that food trucks aren't doing quite as much as they should. And I swear, if you do this thing that I'm going to talk about today, it will help increase awareness and ultimately get more customers to your truck. So let me ask a question to all of you out there who own a food truck. Why don't you ask me for my email address? Why don't you, as a food truck owner, ask your food truck customers for their email address? Why? I don't get it. In any business, a customer's email address is the most important asset. It's the number one asset that you can have. It's the most direct path of communication to those who will be buying things from you. Because think about this. Getting an email is sort of like hearing the doorbell ring or having your telephone go off. It's a type of communication where you cannot let those things go unanswered. And it's the same way with email. When you see an email in your inbox, you're going to open it, especially if it's from someone you trust, especially if it's if it has a great subject line that's enticing, and especially if you expect those emails to come through. For some people, the first thing they do when they wake up in the morning is check their email. It's crazy. You need to get your customers to subscribe to your email list so you can directly contact them. It just boggles my mind that this is something that the industry doesn't do already, but you should. Now, you might be thinking, well, what would you email these people? Well, it could be a lot of things. Where you're going to be that day, where your truck is going to be that day. Any sort of special events that you have going on. News to keep customers interested in all the behind-the-scenes stuff with your food truck. People love that. Pictures of happy customers. New additions to the menu. Actual pictures of your food that you're adding to your menu. Any press that your truck has received lately. Special deals and coupons and incentive for people to come back to your truck. And most importantly, you are able to communicate directly with your customers, actually get replies back from them and get feedback from them, get testimonials from them that you can put on your website, on the side of your truck, things like that. That's how you develop raving fans. Now, you might be thinking, well, Pat, isn't that what social media is for? Isn't that why I have a Twitter account and why I'm on Facebook? Look, social media is great. And I know for many of you, that's where you do most of your marketing. But you need to start to put effort into building an email list, because when you post on Twitter, not everyone who is following you on Twitter actually sees your posts. Your tweet gets pushed to their Twitter feeds, but not everyone who is following you on Twitter is on at the same time. And they might not be on at the time where you tweet. And you might actually be posting something when hardly anyone is on. How do you know? Sometimes, in order to get the most eyes on your tweets, you'll have to tweet something over and over and over again. And to those who are on your following and see all of those posts, that can become a little annoying, which is why it's important to never tweet the same thing twice ever. You want to mix it up a bit, even if the purpose of that tweet is the same. And here's a little side tip for you. Check out a free social media tool called Twiriod. It's like Twitter and period put together. Twiriod, Tweriod.com. It just takes a minute to do. You connect to your Twitter account, and it will analyze your followers, and it will tell you the times of the day at any day of the week when most of your followers are online. And it breaks it down by day of the week and also weekends, so you can see, depending on what day it is, you'll know exactly what times you should be posting on Twitter. It's a great tool, Tweriod.com. Now, if you combine that with a tool you can find at bufferapp.com. That's a tool you can use to schedule your tweets ahead of time. So, you wake up in the morning, you know where your truck's going to be, you write those tweets in Buffer app, and schedule them for those optimal times that you find in Twilio, you're going to get a significantly higher number of people to see those tweets. I mean, you're leaving money on the table if you're not doing that sort of stuff and understanding what's going on with your followers. And most of you, I know because I follow you, you're just sort of randomly putting stuff out there at random times of the day. You're there. You're almost there. Here's how you take it to the next level. So Twilio to know when to post, and also Buffer app to schedule those things ahead of time so that you can focus during the day on those things you really need to focus on, or focus on social media, actually having real conversations with people. Now, we could do an entire episode on Twitter, actually. I know it's a platform that most of you use more than any other one, that and Facebook. And there's a lot of really cool sort of ninja tricks you can do on those particular platforms. But yeah, we'll save that for a later date. Maybe have some social media experts come in too to help us out. So you have your Twitter account, yeah, but not everyone is seeing those updates from you because, like I said, they aren't always online. And for those who are following you, who are also following a lot of other people, they're not even going to see your posts because other posts will have pushed it out of the way if they aren't there right when you post them. Now, Facebook is another story. Facebook has changed a lot over the past years, and there was a point where everyone who liked your page, everyone who was a fan of your page, saw every status update you posted. And that makes sense, right? But that's not the case anymore. With Facebook going public, in the stock market and them having to, please and make money for their investors, they've really messed things up there for us, because even though we have, for example, 1,000 people liking our page, we have 1,000 fans, when you post a status update on your Facebook page, you only get 100 to 400 people on average who will ever see those posts in their newsfeed. Now, it's not like Twitter where it goes out to everyone and some people don't see it because they're not online. No, this is Facebook holding back from sharing our status to people who have opted into following us. It's because of this crazy thing they have going on. Well, I just dropped something off my desk. They also have this thing called EdgeRank on Facebook, which is sort of their algorithm that they use to understand exactly who should be seeing those updates. And it's based on levels of engagement. And, if people interact with you more, if they're leaving more comments and liking things and sharing things, then you have more of a chance of getting onto their Facebook newsfeed. So when you do post on Facebook, just another side tip, make sure you do what you can to encourage people to leave comments, to like those posts, and also to share those posts. So, of course, if you just simply put where you're going to be that day on Facebook and that's all you do, you're not going to get a high level of engagement. But if you post images with text on it and hashtags, and also just get people excited and sharing your stuff, that's where high quality images come into play. You're going to have a likely chance of showing up on more people's news feeds. But again, it's not everybody. It's actually less than 50% and oftentimes far less. It's terrible, And so, yeah, even though you have 1,000 fans on Facebook, in reality, you're only able to reach just a few, sometimes more, like I said, if you have good engagement on your site, but still, it's not very much. But with email goes directly into each of your customers' inbox. And because of the personal nature of email, you're able to connect with them directly, and it feels more personal. And they're going to open those emails. It's different. It's like an email from a friend and someone they trust because they've given you permission to send them emails. This is something that a man named Seth Godin, who's a really just famous for being a great, intelligent, forward-thinking marketer, he calls this permission marketing. So at your food truck, on your iPad, when people visit your website, you can ask them to subscribe to your email list, meaning if they make the choice to subscribe, they will be in the mindset to open your emails and expect those emails when they come through, because they are the ones who gave you permission to contact them. They made the choice to receive those emails. Now, you could provide incentive for people to subscribe to your email list. That's something a lot of people do. Sign up to our email list to get updates on where the truck is at, and also get access to special deals and discounts that are only available to those who subscribe to the email list. And perhaps maybe even offer a free set of fries with your next offer, for example, or with your next order. And you can set it so that when people go through the process of signing up, they add in their name and email. At the end of that process, you can have it set up to go to a thank you page where you can thank people for signing up, and you can also have them print out a coupon, for example, or find some sort of special word or phrase that they could say to get their free thing, whatever that thing may be that you want to give away. You could also, on that thank you page, direct people to follow you on Facebook and Twitter if they haven't done that already. Or maybe click a button to share that they've joined your list so that their friends can see what they're doing and do the same exact thing. So let me ask you again, why aren't you asking me for my email address? Now, you might be thinking, okay, this is good for us food truck owners. I can see the benefit of collecting email addresses, but what's the benefit to the subscriber or to our customer? Like, yes, it's awesome that you want to look out for them, and you're actually doing them a favor by having them subscribe to your email list. Like I said before, you'd be able to make them feel special by giving them special deals or insights on what's happening in the business. I mean, people love that stuff. They love to hear what's going on behind the scenes. And they'll also be able to get where you're at each day right into their inbox. I mean, that is incredibly convenient when you think about it. Seriously, that's much more convenient than following you on Twitter or Facebook and having to visit those pages or look for that post that you recently made with where your truck is going to be that day. No, all I have to do is open my inbox and boom, there it is. An email from you with where your truck is that day. Maybe a link to directions and also a secret phrase I can say to upgrade my small side of mac and cheese to a large, whatever. Maybe you want to test certain products and you can test it with your subscribers and again, make them feel special for signing up to your list and really feeling like a part of your tribe. There are a ton of benefits both ways, but you need to take action and begin to collect those emails. Now, to finish up, this is sort of a quicker episode. We didn't have a guest on. Actually, I had Lanai from Aloha Plate, the winner of season 4 of the Great Food Truck Race. He was supposed to be scheduled to be in this interview, but he's on travel. Obviously he's super busy and he's getting a ton of press. We're going to have him on in one of the upcoming episodes. I'm actually working with him to schedule an interview, but we had to cancel our first one. And, I'm just really excited, but this is something that's been on my mind forever. This sort of, getting people to subscribe to your email list. Why aren't you doing it as a food truck? You should. Now, to finish up, you might be thinking, well, okay, how do I do that? How do I get people to sign up to my list? Do I just ask people for their email address and collect this whole spreadsheet of email addresses when they arrive at the truck? How do I do that? Well, you could, but really the most convenient way to do this is to have people sign up online. So telling them to sign up to your list to get special discounts or whatever the incentive might be, having a place to do that at the truck would be the most convenient, like on your iPad, for example, so they could do it right there. Or you can have people go to your website and sign up there. Or you can tell people on Facebook and Twitter to go to your website and sign up as well. Now, this is important. You just don't want to collect the email addresses and just say, hey, send me an email and give me your email address so I can send you emails later. That's not how it works. You want to collect those email addresses into a special sort of service that will do that for you and allow you to send broadcast emails to everybody. Because if you just collect those email addresses one by one and have them in a spreadsheet, I mean, when you send emails, it's going to be incredibly tedious to send emails to everybody. And even if you were smart and put all those emails into the sort of BCC and send yourself an email, so everybody gets those emails, but they don't see each other's email addresses. Still, you're going to get to a point where you have hundreds of people on your list and you don't want whatever email service provider you normally use, Gmail or whatever, to think that you're spamming people. So there are programs out there. There are companies out there such as Aweber, AWER, or AWEBER, aweber.com, and also MailChimp.com, and other ones, Constant Contact, what are some of the other ones? GetResponse.com. These are services that will help you build your email list by giving you forms to place on your website or mobile device where people will then enter their name and email, or sometimes people just like to connect to email without the name. That's up to you. It could go either way. And then those programs, what they do is they put those email addresses into their database for you. And then with one simple action, you could send a broadcast email, which is an email you just send to everybody on that list, on that growing list that you have at the same time. This is a much cleaner and easier way to do that. This is like the legal way to do it in a way to not be spammy because people are subscribing and giving you permission to send them emails. And you're doing it with this program, Aweber, MailChimp, whatever, that will send an email to, millions. If you had 1 million people on your email list, that would be awesome, obviously. But, it could potentially get to that point. And imagine sending 1 million individual emails. Well, these programs will send... You just write the email once, click send, and then it sends it to all 1 million people for you. This is the cleaner way to do it. You can have 500 people on your email list. Go into your program, click send, write the email, and then click send, and then it goes to all those people on your list right then and there. So I know I've mentioned a lot of different tools and resources here on the show today. If you go to the show notes, you'll find all the links conveniently there for you. If you go to foodtruckr.com/3, foodtruckr.com/3, you can get all those links right there. That's foodtruckr.com/3. And that's the end of I don't even want to call this a rant. This is just hopefully a wake-up call for you to show you how important email can be in your business and how much money and perhaps the ability you have to connect with your audience, how much of that you're leaving on the table by not getting into collecting email addresses for your food truck. So I hope that makes a lot of sense. Please feel free to leave comments at foodtruckr.com/3 or questions there. I'd love to answer any questions you have. On my business, one of my other businesses, I have over 75,000 people on my email list. And every week they expect an email from me talking about some of the latest posts that I've written and also what's going on in my business. And, I get that many people seeing what I have going on every single week. So imagine having an email list of even just a few thousand people in your community, in your area, who get an email from you maybe once a week, maybe even once a day if you want to get crazy. Again, making sure that people understand what they're going to be signing up for before they get it. But if they expect that and they get that email in their inbox every day, they're going to have your brand and pictures of your food and your location in their inbox, something that some people will see the first thing in the morning right there in their inbox. So think about that. Thank you again so much for your support for foodtruckr.com. We got some great stuff coming in for you in 2014, so look out for that. And, all the best to you. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.